Good afternoon, Lancaster. This is Lancaster Connects, show about great people doing great things in our amazing community of Lancaster County. I'm one of your co-hosts of Lancaster Connects. My name is Ben McClure, and we are broadcasting live from Gardner's Mattress & More, the business I co-own with my partner and podcast co-host, Jeff Giannakavo. Jeff today has been replaced by this lovely stand. Unfortunately, Jeff is out of the office today. He has had a couple rough family things this past couple weeks. His father passed away a week ago, and his wife, Steph, is battling an illness, and she's currently in the hospital. So our thoughts and prayers are with Jeff and his family. Hopefully things can kind of get back to normal and get some answers on what's going on with Steph. Steph actually does some work here with us at Gardner's, so we're all kind of feeling it a little bit here. Hopefully she can get better and get out of the hospital and get back home to her family. So, but this is Lancaster Connects. This is, again, show about great people doing great things in the community. It could be a nonprofit like last week. We had Real Life Community Services, Rod and Robin Redkay, father-daughter duo, doing amazing things in the Denver, Cocalico, and Northern Lancaster County communities. Sometimes it's small businesses like ours that have an angle to give back in the community. Today's guest we'll bring on in a little bit, but he's actually a former employee of Gardner. So we're really happy and proud to have today's guest on. You'll meet him in just a little bit. I wanted to mention, if I look a little more vibrant today, it's not me, it's the camera. It's the hardware behind the show. Our producer for Lancaster Connects, Chris Stone from Cast Ahead Productions, said if his name was going to be on a show, we had to look like we were from 2024. So he insisted we buy a new camera. I'm kidding, he did not. But he recommended this new camera. We were using an older camcorder, and I think it looked good before, but oh my gosh, this new camera, it pops. So you could probably count every gray hair on top of my head. I noticed that earlier when I set it up, but the view is stunning now. It's really, really great. So thank you, Chris, for the recommendation. So now we sound great, we look great, and we've got great things for the rest of this year. We got a few more episodes in 2024, and we've got some great guests already lined up for 2025. We started a few months ago doing community rundown. Chris is going to bring up the little laptop there. There it is. We scroll through the Lancaster Connects Facebook feed and find some great organizations doing some cool things in our community. This one is focused on neat things you can do with your family or without your family, whatever, in the Lancaster community. First one up here is Magic and Wonder Theater. This is Brett Myers and his wife and team at Magic and Wonder Dinner Theater. They've been two-time guests here of the show. There's Brett and some of his cast members. It's an awesome magic theater experience right here in Lancaster out on Route 30. Their post was Get in the Holiday Spirit with Holly Jolly Jukebox. Holly Jolly Jukebox. So it's a show they're running right now. Looking for a fun show to sing along to with your favorite Christmas tunes? Holly Jolly Jukebox is the perfect way to get in the holiday spirit. There's sure to be a song or two you recognize. So again, for the whole family, this would be a great sing-along type show. There it is on the screen, Holly Jolly Jukebox. You can book your tickets today by going to magicandwondershow.com. If you haven't seen the episode before, again, Brett's been on 2 times, and each time he's been on, he does a magic trick for us, and it blows our mind. It really does. He does some amazing stuff, some cool illusions on stage, and again, fun shows like this, great for the whole family. Definitely check them out for their holiday show and, of course, all their shows throughout the year. We've got next on the list, Lidditz Historical Foundation. I'm excited about to talk about them. We're actually going to have Corey, who is I'm not sure what his title is at Lidditz Historical Foundation, but he's the guy behind the scenes there at Lidditz Historical Foundation. He's going to be a guest in January, I think the second week, the second show in January. But the Lidditz Historical Foundation, of course, is up there in Lidditz. They've got their annual Carol Sing. Takes place Thursday, December 12th at 6:30 p.m. So that's coming up this week at the Lidditz Moravian Church Square. Full details are on their post. So if you just search for Lidditz Historical Foundation and go to their events, you see it right there, Thursday at 6:30, again at Lidditz Moravian Church. It's really cool. Sometimes the holidays, especially the Christmas holiday, you kind of get lost in, the gifts and all the, the commercialism, right, of Christmas, the everything that Frank Costanza on Seinfeld hated and why he created Festivus, right? But this is pretty cool. Singing carols is something you don't see done very often. So it's pretty cool that the Lidditz Historical Foundation is doing this, and you can go see that this Thursday at the Lidditz Moravian Church Square, 6:30 on Thursday. So very, very cool. I'm excited to talk to them more in January when they're on the show. Next on the list is a guest we had a few weeks ago, actually. Ephrata Performing Arts Center. We had Ed Fernandez on the show with us. Right now, they are running Elf Junior, and it's playing now through December 22nd. So get ready to embark on holiday adventure when EPAC, Ephrata Performing Arts Center, closes its 2024 season with Elf Jr. Based on the beloved film, this delightful musical brings the magic of Christmas to life on stage. Follow Buddy the Elf. I mean, what a great Christmas character Buddy the Elf has become. I love the movie. That my kids and family love the movie. So he's a cheerful and oversized elf, of course, as everybody knows, as he leaves the North Pole in search of his true identity in bustling New York City. Along the way, he spreads love, joy, and a bit of chaos, teaching us all the true meaning of Christmas. You can get your tickets now at, epactheater.org. That's EPAC, and the word theater with an E on the end, .org, or call the box office at 717-733-7966, extension 1. Of course, visit the EPAC website to get your tickets for Elf Jr. That would be a fun one to see with the family. The last one is from the historic Ephrata Cloister. That's up in the, of course, Ephrata area. Christmas at the Cloister performances will be held today, Monday, December 9th, and tomorrow, Tuesday, December 10th, at 6:30 and 8 o'clock each night, held in the original 1741 saal, or meeting house. The historic Ephrata Cloister's Lessons and Carols style program combines this Christmas story with seasonal music and familiar carols for the congregation. It features the talents of the Ephrata Cloister Chorus and great musicians. And following the program, participants are invited to enjoy refreshments and cookies in the visitor center. So seating is limited and advance tickets are required. No tickets are sold at the door. So you can get tickets at their museum store in person, or you can find their website or their Facebook post, Facebook post. EphrataCloister.org is their website. Again, kind of like the event that the Lidditz Historical Foundation is doing with the Carol Singers. This is a great similar event in Ephrata. So again, cool that we have some community programs doing some traditional Christmas stuff. So that was our community rundown here on Lancaster Connects. Again, if you'd like to be featured on the show, show up on our news feed. Send us a message on Facebook. You can find us on Lancaster, on Facebook. Just search up Lancaster Connects. You can go to the lancasterconnects.com website, and there's a form on there. Let us know what your events are. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to announce your events and your happenings and everything that you've got going on. We'd love to share that news with our watchers and listeners. All right. So I teased it earlier. We're going to bring our guest on. Our guest today is Kelvin Zambrana. Hello, Kelvin.
Hey, Ben.
What's up? So Kelvin, we kind of go way back, a little bit way back. Kelvin is a gardener's employee who is no longer a gardener's employee. He now has his own adventure photography business. what is adventure photography? We're going to find out over the next 40 minutes or so. But Kelvin came to us. We were hiring for delivery help back in, what was it, like spring of 2021, Kelvin? Is that timing right?
2020, 2021.
Yeah.
I think 2020.
Okay. Yep. Maybe it was late 2020. So this was kind of during and after the COVID pandemic. We were looking for some delivery help. Kelvin responded, I think it was on Indeed maybe. And, so we were scrolling through resumes and, we looked at Kelvin's resume. Kelvin has architecture schooling and, we were looking through the resume. We brought him in, for an interview. And we're like, this dude is like way overqualified for delivery work, but maybe he wants to work for gardeners. And we hired him, and he said when we hired him, he's like, I'm probably only gonna be here for 6 months or so. It ended up being about a year and a half. So yeah, I guess you probably liked it here a little bit. Is that right?
Oh yeah, definitely. I definitely enjoyed working with you guys and just being a part of the team. But like I said, when it was time to go, it was time to go.
Time to go. And we're going to find out why it was time to go and what you're doing now in just a little bit here. But I do want to say, Kelvin, you were while you were here, you were a valued employee. I loved what you brought to the team. Kelvin actually helped us do graphic design work here. We have a couple signs on our building, painted signs that Kelvin designed. He designed our truck, which currently has a sign on it that's your design, and some other marketing things and pieces that we did. In fact, our new logo colors were kind of inspired by a design you created. So you have a lasting impact within these four walls here, Kelvin. So
yeah.
But I do want to say you were very, very valued employee, and we're sorry you're not here with us, but we're so glad and thrilled that you're doing what you're doing. We always love to see when employees go on to other things.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, cool. So we reconnected over the summer. Chris has some photos of us reconnecting over the summer. You were actually doing some adventure photography. Again, we'll learn what that's all about. Up in Maine, which is pretty cool. And it just happened that my family had a family trip to Acadia, Maine. This is you and I on now I knew you were going to be there. It's not like I ran into you on a hiking trail, right?
No. Yeah. We met up.
This was arranged. So this was on, if anybody's ever been to Acadia, Maine, this was the Beehive Trail, which is a really cool, fun hike and trail in Acadia, but you notice it's like on the side of a mountain. That ledge is what, 2.5, maybe 3 feet wide?
Yeah, I would say probably 2.5 feet.
Yep. So, and there you are taking. So I was coming up behind you on the trail there. I took this photo of you taking a photo down there. I don't know how you're taking a photo down the mountain. Like we're probably 600 or 700 feet up here. You're looking down the mountain. I'm like, I refer to you as like an antelope. You're just like climbing up the side of the mountain like nothing. You had a camera in your hand, which, I'm like holding on to the ledge for dear life, and you're just like, boop, right up. But this trail is really, really cool. There's rungs, like ladders you can climb up, and it's, a little kind of treacherous, but it's, for the most part, it's under control, but it's super cool. I'm glad you did it with me.
It's fairly moderate. It's nothing crazy. You were lucky that I was there for sure to go along with you. Your wife definitely wasn't doing it.
No, she was not. And I wouldn't have wanted to do it myself. The funny thing is, Chris, if you could put that last photo up there, there's a photo when we're at the top. And this was like the middle to end of June. And like Maine, Acadia, Maine, it's like way up there. It barely ever touches the 90s, like 90 degrees. This was when it was so hot here. If the people, who are watching were here during June, it was like 100 plus heat index here in Pennsylvania. Well, it was 90, like mid 90s in Maine. So hot compared to like what you'd expect there. We got to the top of this Beehive Trail, and look at me. I'm all like, I'm flushed red. I'm sweating. My shirt is like completely drenched in sweat. And there's Kelvin, like not not a drop of sweat on you. I don't know if there's something wrong with my body or something wrong with yours. I don't know. But like, I don't feel I should be as drenched, and you should have some kind of sweat there. I don't know. But
I started to glisten a bit. Glisten.
Glisten.
Just a little bit. I lucked out in the gene pool. My mom, just like, I don't have much sweat glands. I guess it's a sort of a superpower.
I guess so. I was amazed. But thank you for doing that trail with me. That was super fun. If anybody gets a chance to go up to Acadia, which Kelvin, you've actually been to a number of times in the last year. Doing adventure photography. We're going to learn about your cool Acadia trips here in just a moment. But yeah, that trail and of course Acadia is just amazing and beautiful. So you've been doing photography for quite a long time. What kind of inspired you to get into photography? Like, how did that start, and how did you decide to turn that passion into a business?
Yeah, so I would say it started around, well, I guess officially took a leap of faith in 2017, right? That's when I graduated. I was doing architecture for a year and a half at a firm, and I decided, hey, let me try something. Let me take a leap of faith here. Architecture is not what I pictured it to be in an office per se versus the school setting. And that's where it kind of took the leap of faith there. But then I would say during college, I got my first camera, 2015. I also got I got one husky, and then a year after I got another husky. So my first clients were my huskies. I practiced with
Ivan, right?
Owen and Ivan. Yep. My two, I have a brown husky and a white one. And those two were my first clients, you could say. I practiced a ton with them, took a bunch of photos with them. And then I was like, maybe I should try this. Maybe I should try this with people. And in 2017, a couple that me and my wife were good friends with at the time, I asked them, hey, do you want to do a winter shoot? And my first shoot was in the snow. Which was, we didn't even expect snow that day. It was just like a nice little snowfall. And it worked out. It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. The couple had a great time. I delivered the photos. And then from there, I was like, okay, let's see where this goes. Let's keep trying. And I tried a whole bunch of different things because it's one thing. There's photography. There's so many different avenues you can go in, right? You can go into commercial photography. I could have gone into architecture photography. I could have gone in any avenue. So I did a lot of things. I did baby shoots. There's the first shoot there.
That's cool.
With Carol and Tyler.
The snow is a fantastic touch to these photos. That's really cool.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing that kind of just happened, right? Because of adventure photography, nature kind of sets the stage for you. And it's rarely ever a deterrent. It's more of, it showcases the day for you, whether that's an elopement or a proposal or an intimate wedding on the side of a cliff.
Right. Yeah. Right. So obviously a number of questions here. So you mentioned your dogs as your first clients, right? You were unpaid for that work, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Who's a better client, the dogs or people?
The dogs and the people. It's I would say the people for the most part. So the dogs can be really stubborn sometimes. Owen, my brown one, I've been doing with him since he was a pup. And now when I pull out the camera, he's like, all right, cool, get my good side.
That's awesome. He knows. He knows.
Yeah, he knows. Ivan, the white one, he's definitely a little more stubborn. So with the dogs, it's interesting, right? I can't tell them, hey, well, I can tell them to sit, but I can't tell them to give me this expression,
right?
Give me or have this feeling or anything like that. It's capturing the moment candidly.
Yep.
It just happens, and I have to make sure that I'm in the right place, right time to get these photos. There's Owen there. So this is on a hike that I did with a college buddy, and essentially, what I would do is I would sit Owen at the end of that bridge, and I would tell him, "All right, Owen, come." And this is a mid-action shot of him making his way. I mean, he's a little bit wet because he gets into the rivers and things like that when we're on our hikes. But Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So when you were describing your kind of path and the path that a lot of photographers go, they photograph weddings. They get into wedding photography, and that's a whole thing. Or they specialize in maybe like family photography. But your path is really truly unique. We called it adventure photography in our show's title. What would you describe? I mean, what is adventure photography to you? Like, what does that mean?
So adventure photography is for the couples who reach out to me really love being outdoors. I mean, they most likely go hiking a lot. They love camping. They just feel at peace outdoors. And honestly, that's how I felt. When I was sitting in that architecture office, I was like, man, would rather be outside. So I, brainstorming, how do I provide a service doing something that I love, but I could also provide people a service that in turn, they love and I can get paid for it essentially. So that brought me back to, going hikes on with my dogs, taking photo with the dogs, and it all kind of made a triangle here. And I was like, okay, maybe I could do adventure photography. Now it didn't just jump to that, of course.
Yeah.
I started, like you said, so I was with my dogs and then I went to traditional weddings. I did a handful of traditional weddings. And then from there, I was like, well, I have to network, right? I have to see other photographers that are doing exactly what I'm doing so that I can get my foot in the door. And then that led to me meeting up with other photographers for styled shoots. And then from styled shoots, I would learn the ins and outs of how to basically have a timeline for a day. How's the day roll? How's the day go from getting ready photos to a ceremony and then to shots afterwards? And what's that look like compared to a traditional wedding?
That's cool. So I know you now specialize in elopements, so adventure elopements, and smaller, intimate, let's call them adventure weddings, right?
Yeah.
So, that's kind of cool. Like, the wedding thing, everybody wants wedding photography, but the elopement thing, is that like a new concept, or is that something like you're kind of like inventing in a way?
No, I'm definitely not paving the way here for anything.
I feel like you are.
It's been done before. I think it's just reaching out to those couples who maybe they feel this way, right?
Yep.
But they don't know how to go about it, how to, how do I even plan an adventure elopement? Is it possible for me to rent? I mean, think about it. Am I renting a beach? Am I renting a whole beach to have my ceremony on people don't know those answers. So, that's, it's on me to do that research for them and be able to provide answers for them. And when couples reach out to me on our consultation calls, usually we narrow it down. We'll talk about where do you guys feel at peace? Me personally, I love a good coast. That's why I go to Acadia a bunch. I mean, the coastal town up there is just beautiful. But sometimes it's beautiful landscapes with trees and big rivers and rolling hills. It can vary so much. There's so many possibilities, right? So when you come to me, I'm able to narrow down exactly what you want and then come up with a possible day for you based on exactly what you think would be the perfect day.
So when I saw you in Acadia, I think I saw you the day before you were about to do a surprise elopement for a guy who contacted you. And so you had it arranged with him. I mean, you can tell us.
Surprise proposal.
Surprise proposal, not elopement.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
surprise proposal. Surprise proposal. So, and that feels like a new concept, the surprise proposal, not a surprise proposal, but because those have been happening for a long time. But the fact that it's being captured by a photographer seems like a new concept. But so walk through that client's journey, they contacted you. They said they want to do this surprise proposal and they want you to capture it. How do you get to that day with this person who needs to keep it secret from the person he's proposing to? Like, how does that work?
Yeah. So, so Jason reached out here, and basically on our consultation call, I'll talk to him about it. And actually on my contact form, he was from Harrisburg. So
that's cool.
We connected on that he's local. I'm from Pennsylvania, Lancaster. And then he was like, we're going to go to Acadia and I would like to propose while we're there. And he had an idea of exactly what he wanted to do, but he didn't know where. So when couples come to me, I've been to Acadia so many times. I have a guide of popular spots or secluded spots if you want some privacy. And we'll walk through the consultation together and pick a spot. We'll have multiple consultations to narrow down on exactly the spot. He had a text chain with me set up. However, he had me under a different name. And I think his backstory, his backstory for me, he was in the medical field. So it was easy for him to be like, oh, this is a new employee. And I'm kind of showing him the ropes and things like that. And
but you're talking about photography.
Yeah. Well, so we would start the conversation with medical information, whatever, he would give me like funny. Something and I'd bounce back. And then I would go ahead onto what I want. Sometimes it's through text, sometimes it's through email. It depends on how well you know your fiance to be, right?
Yeah.
If she's going to always grab your phone, then maybe email would probably be best compared to text.
Right. Yeah. Because it's got to be completely hidden, or else it's out there, and the secret is up. The gig is up.
Yeah. I mean, even when I emailed after I replied to the inquiry, I can't put in the subject form there, Acadia proposal.
Right.
I just usually put Acadia recommendations or something that.
Right.
So that's how we go about that. And then we pick a location. Even for whether it's proposals, elopements, normal intimate wedding, whatever, for me to travel to a location, I usually show up 2 days before so that I can scout the location, make sure there's, I can prepare as much as I want. I've been there so many times, but there could be road closures. There could be a hike closure. There could be anything that could happen. So I have to be prepared and be able to pivot for my couple depending on, what location they want. Right. So that's how we go about it. We narrow down the location, and then he arrives. He lets me know he arrives. And another thing, if you have an iPhone to iPhone, he can share his location with me.
Yeah.
So I could know where he's at. He knows where I'm at. Yep. And then we set a time to be at this location. There's multiple ways you can go about it too. So multiple ways you can go about it too. Like I can act to be just a hiking bystander, just going by. He can say, "Hey, I booked a shoot for us, just to have photos of our time there," and then he'll propose during our shoot. Lately, though, it's been super surprise where I'm just kind of a bystander, a hiker going by, and then I'll need to be ready for the shot in that moment.
So this is what I found extraordinary about this. You had a whole thing, like you left your backpack on a trail, like you knew, like you had it set up, you knew the place, you directed him that this is, you're going to be hiking on this trail and you're going to get to this point. You're going to find my backpack that's on the trail, and I'm going to just walk by, and as a hiker, like, oh, I left my backpack. Oh, there it is. And now you're talking to this couple who he knows you and you know him, but she has no clue who you are. Just thinking you're a hiker. Walk us through that. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah. In this particular case, it was the backpack. So, I mean, the hike itself, it's the trail is like right off there's like a little bridge that went down. And actually for this particular one, where he wanted to go, the bridge was closed off because of storms in that area.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
So the hike to the left was open, and it's pretty straight shot. You just go straight towards it, but there's about 3 openings. So, in our email chain or text chain, I send him tons of pictures of exactly where I want him to be. So the 2 days before, sometimes there's couples on the hike prior, and I'll ask them to stand in the location that I want him to stand. So he has a perfect visual of exactly kind of what, he's got the nerves going through him. He's getting excited. So I'm trying to show him exactly what he needs to see.
Yep.
And then I put my backpack down and I kind of just walked more along the trail. And then when I see them get to the spot, I started walking back towards them and I was like, hey, you guys. And, I just introduced myself as when you're going to a national park, you meet so many people from all over the world. It's not weird at all to, say hi, or just see a hiker or see a bunch of people with cameras too. I usually hide mine. I'm usually wearing like a lightweight jacket and I have both of them on my harness.
Yep.
So, I mean, not that it's not unusual to see someone with a camera, but I usually just put them away just to kind of make it more of a surprise.
But at this point, you're an actor now. You have to act like you're, a hiker that lost his bag, and now you're talking to the couple.
Well, I didn't lose my bag. I set it down there for a second. Usually I say I saw a bird or something. Like say I saw a bird and I went to see where it went. Maybe it found its nest, and then I backtrack, and then I was like, "Hey guys, I was taking some pictures of some birds," and then I think in their particular case, I said there's a chipmunk. There was a little chipmunk that I was following, and I wanted to get a really cool shot of him. And I worked my way back. I grabbed my backpack, and then instead of heading away from the trail, I headed back towards up the trail.
Yep.
And then I got in location, and these new digital cameras, you can have it so that there's a silent shutter.
Okay.
So that when you're pushing the shutter button, you don't hear
Yep.
And that allows me to become completely silent. You have no idea that I'm really behind you unless you're super aware. But in that moment, she knows he's probably going to propose if he starts talking about, this is why I love you, start to profess his love to her. And then she's all eyes on him. So the likelihood that they see me there in the background,
it's pretty low.
Yeah.
And how far away were you from them?
In this particular case, I was probably about 10, 20 feet.
Yeah. Wow. So like you could like step on a branch and it's like snapping or like fall over or something. And like you've got to be pretty careful. You also told me you had your phone, you were taking a video. Not only were you snapping the photos here, you had your camera set up, your phone camera set up on like a branch or a twig or something, hoping that it wouldn't fall off and fall down the cliff, right?
Yeah. So sometimes sometimes I'll set it up if I can. A lot of that comes down to timing, right? Because I put my phone there, but I can't just leave it there for 30 minutes waiting for them to come down. So I have to constantly look up the trail, see if they're coming, run back to the spot, set up my camera. But yeah, I set it up in some tree branches. And I mean, if you see the photos there, basically so if I'm setting the scene for you, it's like sunset in the back, it's a bunch of trees, and then the coast is right there. It's a pebble beach, and you can hear the waves crashing. And if I look down, I mean, it took my phone could have fell down, but it didn't. The video turned out perfect. And I got a video of them proposing. So
that's awesome. And then, so after it happened, then you popped out of your hiding spot and went back to them, and then what happened?
Then I congratulate them. I introduced myself.
Yep.
Sometimes, there's the photos there. I usually ask the fiance now, hey, did you see it? Did you see it coming? Did you know it was coming? Right. Or was it was it a surprise? Sometimes that Acadia National Park, their ornament, sometimes I give little gifts, but also while I was in Bar Harbor, I was like, this would make a perfect plaque just to commemorate their proposal, and then they could have it as a gift.
That's cool.
Afterwards we meet up, say hi, and then so the proposal itself lasts, 5 minutes, if that. Right. It goes by in an instant. Quick. So I have to be able to capture those photos. There it is, right there.
Now, was that when she? So did you stage this afterwards, or was this a photo? This was like the live thing.
This is in the moment.
This is in the moment.
Is in the moment.
That's an amazing photo. That like she had no clue that you were taking that. That's awesome. Complete surprise.
Yeah. So things that you learn after doing this for a while is that like it's important to capture her reaction and making sure to get that moment.
Yep.
And then afterwards, we do about an hour to an hour and a half shoot.
Yep.
Of additional photos just to so they basically pay for a 2-hour full session there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, thanks for kind of retelling that story. I thought it was amazing that that's what you were up there to do when we saw you up there. I knew you kind of did this type of photography, but I really didn't know how involved it was. Like all the steps you just walked us through. I thought this is amazing. So you've been to Acadia a number of times. Similar proposals and elopements. Where are some other places you've been doing adventure photography, and where's some place or two that you'd like to go to do adventure photography?
Oh yeah, so I've been up and down the East Coast. I go as far as up as Maine. This summer I was in Michigan, and then I was in Shenandoah a bit. I've been as far down as Florida. Then going towards the West Coast. I've been to Montana. I've been to as far as Hawaii. Hawaii is amazing. I love the beach and beach vibes. So that was probably one of my favorite trips. One of the places I love. So I've been getting inquiries here for Iceland, Norway, internationals. So next year, that's probably on my bucket list is to book one for the international travels.
So that's awesome. If you need a guide, I mean, I know nothing about Iceland, but I could probably learn pretty quickly. If you need a helper, hold the extra camera or press play on or record on the phone.
Or you can record.
Yeah, I could do that for you.
You're joking about it, but that in itself is a profession too. I noticed that some photographers and even couples are hiring someone to do social media content for them.
Oh wow!
On their day,
that's
in
crazy.
Addition to photography, in addition to videography. So, hey, sky's the limit.
Yeah. Yeah. So what we've been talking about so far, surprise engagements, elopements, but you also do some small family weddings too, right? Like I know you were telling me about a recent one where you had a family like kind of on a cliff somewhere. Is that right?
Yeah.
Or near a cliff.
Yeah. Well, that was in Acadia.
Okay. That was at Acadia. Yep.
And we were on Cadillac Mountain, the peak.
Yep.
And it was, they had about 20 of their closest family and friends along with them. Now every national park has a permit that you need to get as a photographer if you have so many guests. And it varies from park to park. But usually, at least for Acadia, if it's just me and the couple, you don't need a permit. But once you start adding close friends and families, you need a permit. So yeah, we were up there at Cadillac Mountain, and so there was rain in the forecast, and we were down at the bottom, and there wasn't as much rain. But once we got up there for their ceremony, it was just it was downpour.
Oh, no.
And it was like the family members were in their ponchos and umbrellas. That's part of it. That's all part of it. And the couples are real troopers. I mean, they smiles on their faces. It definitely wasn't a downer at all. And as soon as that rainfall kind of like subsided, it was literally 20 minutes after. There was a beautiful cloud inversion at the top of Cadillac Mountain, and you could see Bar Harbor in the distance. You could see the cruise boats, and you could see the beautiful cloud formation just right above on the edge. And it was amazing. Like just thinking back on it, I'm just like, I just felt so happy that I could be there to capture that moment for them, and that's going to be part of their story.
Yeah, I mean that's an amazing thing. You're letting nature do its thing, And your responsibility, your job there in that moment is to capture whatever's going on, right? And make the best of it. But in this case, it was like you're getting an experience. They're getting an experience in their in their photographs, that lasts forever, that, they wouldn't have experienced if it was just a normal, like, bland, sunny day, right?
Yeah. I mean, obviously nobody wants rain, but it is good luck on your wedding day. and they
nice.
and they had more than enough. I mean, I'm telling you, it was downpour up there. But like you said, you just have to have an open mind when deciding to have an elopement, and have a plan. B, C, D. It's like, even after that moment, I started to talk to the couple. We had plans of doing another hike after that, but time was kind of winding down, and we realized, you know what? Let's just go back to the Airbnb, and we'll get sunset photos of you and your family members, because they're all drenched at this. Well, not drenched. They had ponchos, things like that, but they did want to get back and just decent up a little, or like fix themselves up a little bit, and then take some more photos. And I was like, that's fine. We can adjust. We'll adjust on the fly. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as a photographer, that you're in the elements, right? That's your thing. You're at the mercy of weather. And of course, you're at the mercy of the couple or the family that's hired you to do the job. This is, ever since I met you, Kelvin, you've had such an even temper and keel, and like I think you have to have that in this profession. You just kind of got to roll with whatever's in front of you and make the best of it. And of course, keep your couple and your client and your family, whoever it is, like, keep them calm, encourage them for, what the situation can be and what the situation is. And, I think that's, you have a great demeanor for this profession, and it shows in the photography and the experiences that you create for these couples. It's pretty cool. I mean, it takes a special person to be able to do that, because I can imagine, like, if I'm doing it, I'm like, oh man, it's raining. Dang it. Like, this is ruined.
That's how I know, like, I'm doing what something I love, because, there's moments, like you said, nobody wants to be out in the rain. It's a miserable time, but that didn't even come through my mind when I'm up there. I'm just like, I have a job to do, and I'm going to take these beautiful photos for them regardless of the weather. And then I thought back on it, and I'm just like, what an amazing experience it was for them, for me, just in general, and to be there for them. And looking back at it all too, working for gardeners a little bit, what I enjoyed about that is just meeting people. I really enjoy meeting people, meeting couples. So that's another aspect that kind of drew me to this profession, is that I get to be outdoors. I get to help them capture the most epic day for them, and just be there for them, whatever that means, whatever they need. And just capture an amazing experience for them.
That's cool.
From the consultation all the way till an album delivery.
So there's probably like 1,000 questions I could ask you about adventure photography and you and what you do. But let's talk about, like, so let's say there's a couple that wants to do like this guy in Acadia. He did a surprise engagement. How far in advance, if they want to work with you, how far in advance do you need to be notified? What is the timeline of, like, your consultation with them to the actual, getting it done? What does that process look like? And then also maybe talk us through how it works. Does the client pay you for travel if you're going to go, that kind of distance? Obviously, there's time and fuel involved, and potentially even a plane ride if it's somewhere like Hawaii,
it's the West Coast.
Right?
Yeah.
So talk us through that experience.
Yeah. So basically, when they're inquiring with me, I have it on my inquiry form where I ask questions like, when is your date? Do you know exactly where you want to have your elopement or proposal, or maybe you don't? So tell me something about you that I don't know, like, what's your favorite adventure, just to kind of get a basis of what's about them. And then we go from there. And I mean, I've had an elopement where we planned it in a month, and it went
Okay.
off. It went off within a hitch. That proposal that we did, I think that was also a month's
Okay.
turnaround.
Wow. It seems like it would be
So
more time, but if you're able to work it out.
yeah, it all depends also like with my travel schedule. So
Sure.
I am traveling. So depending on where I am and if it works out, perfect. But if I just if I can't get there for you, then I, I can't be there for you. It's just time constraint.
Yep.
Now inquiring with me about travel and things like that. So I have rates based on locally, and then I have what I call regional. So usually like Maine on the East Coast, and then I have West Coast collections, and then international collections. And in each of those, the price that they get is already, and travel is included in that price.
Okay.
There's nothing additional. It's just one number in the end there, and then from there we can go. And usually after consultation call is when they get back to me. And how we go about that is there's a 50% deposit down for their date in advance. Now, some couples, it could be 6 months in advance. Right?
Sure.
So I would be doing more work for them up front, because it just depends on how much you want to have on your wedding day,
right? On
your elopement day. Like there could be a lot of moving factors which require a lot more planning. Now couples don't know, the couples that don't know exactly what they want to do after they book with me. I have a guidebook here that you get when you book with me, and it has tons of awesome information about purchasing attire and gear.
Oh, that's awesome, Kelvin.
Booking your lodging, deciding on where, how to tell your parents. Basically, a guide to how to have an elopement of your dreams. Right?
Yeah.
This is how we get to the next step, and then from there we'll narrow down to a specific location. Like I said, I arrive on site 2 days prior to make sure there's no closures or anything like that. I show up the day of, we shoot the day of, and then we roll with the punches to see. We'll see. I usually have a timeline that we have beforehand. But sometimes the couples, like we're driving along the national park and we see an awesome spot, and they're like, "Oh man, we should really love pictures here." And I'm like, "Let's pull over and get some pictures." It's your day.
That's so cool.
Now, sometimes there's a time constraint. We have to be here for the ceremony based on a permit or whatever. But usually it's more of a casual timeline for sure.
Yep. And so would you also, so you do the adventure photography, and that's kind of your main gig. Let's say somebody like maybe myself wants family photos. You also will do family photos? I think I know the
of course. Yeah, of course. Yeah. So when I'm in Lancaster, and if someone reaches out for family photos, I usually don't say no unless I'm overbooked for a month, or I just can't, if I'm traveling a lot. But if I'm in Lancaster and I have an opening and you reach out to me, I usually do family photos.
So
there they are.
Yeah. So about a month ago, we hired Kelvin to do family photos for our family. I think the last time we had done family photos, my daughter was, she's 5'10". She was smaller than my wife, or shorter than my wife. So it was like 5 years ago. So we wanted to update our family photos. It's something we've been talking about for a little bit. We hired Kelvin to do that. We arranged a day, and of course it was going to rain on the day. It was like the only day in early November that it was going to rain. It hadn't rained for like 3 weeks prior and wasn't going to rain after, but these photos turned out amazing. We couldn't be more happy with them. Kelvin, you were fantastic to work with. We had a couple different settings that we kind of wandered around through. These were done at Chickies Rock at a couple different destinations within that park there. And again, we're super thrilled with how they turned out. you did some Photoshop work on some crazy hair. And I think you added some gray hair to my pictures.
No.
Perhaps. Oh, you didn't do that?
I didn't add any gray hair.
Well, I appreciate it. You could have covered some up, and that'd have been all right too.
You're not that gray. You're exaggerating, man.
All right. But, amazing photos. So yeah, if somebody wanted to get started with you, your website, I think we had it on the screen there, kelvinzambranaphotography.com. Fill out the form on the website. Let Kelvin know what you're interested in, and he'll get the ball rolling there. Send you a great book. I mean, that's I love that awesome tool that you provide. It's kind of like our little Sleep Better book here. Give people helpful sleep tips. Tell people how to have an elopement or a wedding of their dreams in an adventure setting. I think that's super, super cool. There's your email address on the screen there, kelvinzambranaphotography@gmail.com. I personally highly recommend Kelvin and his nature photography abilities. And if this is something that you're considering, Kelvin's your guy.
Yeah. Even with the family photos, I usually direct it towards natural setting, near a lake or anything like that, and we'll go from there. But the most important thing is that you plan the session that's fun for you and the family. Yep. It could be anything. It could, I had a family. She planned like a little picnic for the kids and everything.
That's cool.
They had fun. They had bubbles and everything, and it just led to a more relaxed feel as opposed to, just taking photos. So whatever it has to be. And even just, getting out of your head, your wife, she's like, what do I do with my hands? People get nervous, and, just not everyone's not, used to being in front of a camera, but
yep.
as long as you have a good time, and then you behind me, especially while I'm taking the photos, make her laugh, right? Like that. Yep. She'll feel a little bit more comfortable. And, hiking along the path, that helps instead of just standing at one location the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah. That was the running joke, the whole shoot. What she was always asking, what do I do with my hands? What do I do with my hands? Cause don't have pockets, do I do this? Do I do this? So, you made us and especially her feel comfortable. And again, the photos turned out great. So thank you for your efforts there. We're almost out of time. You have a few more minutes for connection cocktail questions?
Yeah.
All right. So, I know you, Kelvin. Our watchers, these are a few questions for our watchers and listeners to learn a little bit more about you. First question we've been asking recent guests: your favorite holiday. We just wrapped up Thanksgiving a couple weeks ago. We got Christmas. She's like 2.5 weeks away. Do you have a favorite holiday and or family holiday tradition?
For me, it's Christmas. I love Christmas. I love getting into the Christmas spirit. It's a big time at the Zambrana household. And something that we've done for a couple of years now is my mom does Christmas bingo. And she buys a bunch of gift cards. It could be Wise gift cards, Sheets gift cards. Yeah. It could be Amazon gift cards. And basically, we just play Christmas bingo, and whoever wins, you get to choose a gift card. And that's been a good
awesome.
Time.
That's cool. That's cool.
There's drinks, laughs, and this possibility of winning. Sometimes you don't win. You never know.
That's right. That's right. Awesome. If you could travel back into time, you maybe pick a year or destination or maybe a place, where would you go?
I would probably go back to Italy. That was one of the greatest times of my life for sure.
That's great. We got
married.
You did a school trip or something there?
Yeah. I was studying abroad in 2015, but that also was the year that I got married. And my wife came along with me. So it became a 4-month honeymoon / study abroad trip. It was the greatest time of my life.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. It's fall for another maybe week and a half. What's your favorite fall thing to do in Lancaster County?
For me, it's just going on hikes with my dogs, with the huskies. I mean, I travel a lot, but there's a lot of great hikes here within 30 to 40 minutes of Lancaster that you get to just be outdoors and enjoy it.
That's cool. And I'm sure Owen and Ivan love it as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome. Kelvin, this has been great. Glad that you were able to do the show with us. Again, if you're looking for photography outdoors, adventure photography, we're calling it, either surprise engagements, elopements, weddings, small intimate weddings, even some family photos. If Kelvin's local, he'll throw some family photo sessions in there. Visit Kelvin Zambrana photography.com. Get the process started there. Again, I can't say enough about the work you do. You have a unique look to your photos and just a keen eye for nature and capturing nature, and of course the people within nature. So this was cool having you on, sharing what you do, showing the cool pictures. This is definitely a show to watch instead of listen to. So thank you for being on and sharing what you do.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was a good time.
Yep. Have a good holiday and a good rest of the afternoon, Kelvin.
You too.
Yep. Thanks, man. All right. Well, man, I'm, I guess, 58 minutes. I feel like it was just 2 o'clock. It went like that. Can't say enough good things about Kelvin as an employee here at Gardeners during his time here with us. And again, I'm a client of his. My family is a client of his for photography services. And it's just amazing eye and talent for capturing people in nature. And whether that's, again, a wedding, elopement, engagement, or even family photo sessions. I've seen a lot of his work and I've seen what he's done for us, and it's pretty special. So we're almost out of time. I'm going to read one review that came in recently. This is a review for Gardeners Mattress & More, Lancaster Connects, my new sign. Lancaster Connects is brought to you by Gardeners Mattress & More. Again, it's the business that Jeff and I co-own. And Lancaster Connects is one of the ways that we're able to give back at Gardeners Mattress & More. We do some mattress donations through Off the Streets, Lancaster, wonderful organization. We have some food donation efforts, but this show is one of our ways that we give back, highlighting great people in the community doing wonderful things like Kelvin, or small businesses or nonprofits or charitable organizations. In fact, I counted, we had 25 nonprofit or charitable organizations on the show in 2024. So you can actually learn more about that on our year-end recap show, which will be the last show of the year. I forget the date. I think it's the 30th of December. We're going to do a fun year-end recap, maybe some awards to give out for what we did the last year, maybe show some fun clips from the year. So that's going to be a good one. But I did want to give a testimony or read a testimonial here that we got at Gardeners. Of course, our job here at Gardeners Mattress & More is to help people wake up happy every morning. And we did that for this person. On Google, they said, Gardeners really sets the standards on what customer service should be. Buying a bed can be pretty intimidating and confusing purchase. Luckily, their staff is super knowledgeable and very patient with helping their customers. I was in and out in about an hour. They have a huge selection and various price ranges. Their delivery service, which Kelvin was a part of years ago, is also top-notch. I highly recommend their business, 5 stars. Thank you so much for that review. And we try to make the mattress buying process easy. It doesn't have to be hard. I know it can feel hard because there's so many choices, so many ads, so many, different opinions on what a mattress is and what it should be. But the whole goal is happy morning wake-ups, and we comfortably walk you through that process. Our Sleep Better book can help. You can download that from our website, gardenersmattressandmore.com. But our whole goal is to educate and help you through the mattress buying process, and we guarantee that you'll wake up happy every morning. And it feels great and humbling to receive those kind of words from customers who have trusted their sleep to us. So thank you to all the Gardeners customers out there. Thank you to you for watching and listening to Lancaster Connects. We will see you 2 o'clock Monday Next week, we've got the last official guest of the year. It's Mike Reynolds from the Lancaster Stormers and all the cool things going on at Clipper Magazine Stadium. Again, thanks for watching. Have a great afternoon.